Do you honestly believe 32 PSI is the safe magic number for your tires? If you do, you're making a massive mistake that is quietly destroying your car from the ground up. Stop setting your tire pressure to 32 PSI immediately. Right now, you are likely shredding your tire structure, murdering your suspension bushings, and increasing your braking distance by several feet without even realizing it. In the next few minutes, you're going to learn exactly why this universal rule is a lie that is killing your car. And stick around until the end because I'm revealing a 30-second tire reset trick that fixes your handling and fuel economy instantly. Now, if you've moved past the 32 PSI myth, you've probably fallen for the second most dangerous trap in car care, the sidewall lie. Most drivers look at that bold, official-looking number stamped right into the rubber of the tire and think, well, the tire manufacturer made the tire, they must know the pressure. Wrong. Do you know why car brands spend millions testing specific OEM tires? It's because the tire is a tuned component of the suspension. The pressure printed on your tire sidewall is not a recommendation. It is the maximum cold pressurization limit. It is the point of no return where the tire is at risk of structural failure. It's a safety ceiling, not a floor. Think about it. The same tire model could be sold for a lightweight sedan or a heavy crossover. If you pump both to the sidewall number, one of those cars is going to handle like a brick. Some brands show 44 PSI, others show 51 PSI. That doesn't mean the 51 PSI tire is stronger. It just means the internal plies are constructed with a different tension. Your car's weight distribution doesn't change just because you bought a different brand of rubber. Number 1. Higher risk of blowouts and structural failure. When you ignore the science and stick to a random number like 32, the first thing that begins to fail isn't your tread, it's the integrity of the tire itself. Tires are designed to flex, but they have a very specific flex zone. When your pressure is too low for your vehicle's weight, the sidewall bends too far. This isn't just a comfort issue, it's a physics problem. That excessive bending generates internal friction, which creates extreme heat. Heat is the primary killer of rubber. Over time, the chemical bonds in the rubber break down, and the steel belts inside can literally separate. The tire looks perfect on the outside, but inside, it's a ticking bomb waiting for a highway speed blowout. On the flip side, overinflating beyond the car's needs makes the tire brittle. Instead of the tire acting like a cushion, it acts like a hammer. One sharp pothole or curb can snap a belt instantly because the tire had zero give. And that shockwave doesn't just stop at the tire. Number 2, suspension damage and premature wear. Your tires are actually the first stage of your car's suspension. They are meant to soak up high-frequency vibrations and small road imperfections before that energy ever touches your shocks. When you default to 32 PSI on a car that requires 38, your suspension has to compensate for a floppy tire. This puts massive unintended stress on your control arm bushings and ball joints. Conversely, if 32 is too high for a very light car, the tire becomes a solid rock. Every tiny pebble on the road sends a vibration straight into your struts. This is how you end up with mysterious suspension rattles or leaking shocks at only 40,000 miles. Most drivers blame bad roads, but the real culprit was the air pressure they set 6 months ago. Number 3, uneven and accelerated tire wear. Let's talk about your wallet. Tires are expensive, and they should wear down like a bar of soap, slowly and evenly. When you run 32 PSI in a car that's too heavy for that pressure, the weight shifts to the outer edges of the tread. The center bows inward, and you'll notice the shoulders of your tires balding while the middle looks brand new. If 32 is too high, the tire balloons, and you'll burn through the center strip in a matter of months. Once that wear pattern starts, you can't reverse it. You can rotate them all you want, but you've already fundamentally altered the shape of the tread. You're essentially throwing away 50% of the tire's life because of a 5 PSI mistake. If you've ever looked at your tires and wondered why they look wavy or chopped, hit that like button and subscribe because we're about to show you how to stop the bleeding. Number 4, reduced braking and poor handling. This is where it gets dangerous. If your tires aren't at the exact pressure designed for your car's weight, your contact pad, the actual amount of rubber touching the road, is compromised. Think about emergency braking. If your tire is underinflated at 32 psi, the center of the tread can actually lift off the ground during a hard stop, leaving only the edges to grip. This can add 10, 15, or even 20 feet to your stopping distance. In a panic situation, that's the difference between a close call and a rear-end collision. Your steering will also feel mushy or vague. If your car feels like it's wandering on the highway, it's probably not an alignment issue, it's a pressure issue. Number 5, worse fuel economy. This is the invisible tax you pay every week at the pump. Setting your car to 32 psi when it requires 35 or 36 creates excessive rolling resistance. It's like trying to ride a bicycle with soft tires. You have to pedal twice as hard to go the same speed. Your engine has to burn more fuel just to overcome the friction of that squishy tire. Even being just 3 psi off can drop your fuel economy by 3 to 5%. Over a year of driving, that's hundreds of dollars wasted on nothing but bad advice. So how should I know the exact PSI for my car? Stop guessing. Stop listening to the 32 PSI guy. The only authority on this is the tire and loading information sticker. You will find this truth in one place, the driver's side door jamb. Open your door and look for a white or yellow sticker. This isn't just a suggestion, it is the result of thousands of hours of track testing by the manufacturer. It will tell you the exact pressure for the front tires and the rear tires when they are cold. This number accounts for the engine's weight, the trunk's capacity, and the car's specific braking bias. Trust the sticker, not the crowd. Why front and rear PSI are often different. A common point of confusion is seeing two different numbers on that sticker. Many drivers think that can't be right and just fill all 4 to 32 to balance them. Don't do that. Most cars have the engine in the front, meaning the front tires are carrying 60% of the vehicle's weight. They need more support. In some trucks or SUVs, the rear pressure is higher to account for towing or heavy cargo. If you set them all to the same number, you are fundamentally unbalancing the car's handling. It can lead to understeer, where the car refuses to turn sharply in an emergency. Follow the split pressure recommendation to keep the car's geometry exactly where the engineers intended. Cold tire pressure explained. Timing is everything. If you drive 5 miles to a gas station and then check your pressure, your reading is useless. As you drive, friction and braking heat up the air inside the tire, causing it to expand. This can artificially raise your pressure by 4 to 6 psi. If your sticker says 35 and you set it to 35 while the tires are hot, you're actually leaving them underinflated. Cold means the car has been sitting for at least 3 hours. This gives you the baseline pressure. If you must fill them while they're hot, add 4 psi above the sticker's recommendation as a temporary fix, but always recheck them the next morning. Seasonal PSI changes, why your tires lose air. Nature is your tire's biggest enemy. For every 10 degrees Fahrenheit drop in temperature, your tires lose about 1 psi. In the autumn, when the temperature swings 30 degrees overnight, you can lose 3 psi in a single morning. This is why your low tire light always comes on during the first cold snap of the year. It's not a glitch, it's physics. Conversely, in the summer, your tires can overinflate themselves just by sitting in the sun. If you aren't adjusting your pressure at least once a month, you are essentially driving on a different setup every week, which ruins your consistency and safety. Special cases where the standard rules don't always apply. Now, are there exceptions? Yes, if you're driving a vintage 1998 Toyota Corolla or early 2000s Honda Civic, you might actually see 32 psi on the door sticker. In those specific lightweight older vehicles, 32 was the engineered standard. But even then, you aren't using 32 because it's a rule, you're using it because the sticker told you to. If you upgrade to a different tire size or a higher load rating, like moving from a standard tire to an XL or extra load tire, you may actually need to bump that pressure up to maintain the same load capacity. When in doubt, the sticker is your North Star. The 30-second tire reset trick. Ready to fix your car? Here is the professional reset you should do right now. Locate the sticker, open your driver's door, find the PSI numbers for the front and rear, the cold check. In the morning, before you drive, use a high-quality digital gauge. Avoid the broken ones at the gas station. The adjustment, if you're at 32 but the sticker says 35, add air until you hit the mark. If you're over, bleed it out. The secret step, check your spare tire. Most people forget it, and it loses pressure faster than the others. Make sure it's at its recommended pressure, which is usually 60 PSI for donuts. Doing this once a month will save you thousands in tires and fuel over the life of your car. Most drivers are still trapped in the past, making tiny mistakes that destroy their vehicles. Don't be one of them. Click the video on your screen right now to see the 7 other tire mistakes you're probably making that are costing you money.